Okay, so basically, if you were on my Facebook, you would see the follow-ups. So, basically, Tyler Milligan, he calls himself Michelin, but like there was this whole thing we did, and there was like this Michelin man. He looked like the Michelin man, like the tire thing, but he was like a real entity or person, and he was nasty. He was like trying to convince kids of all this weird stuff in the universe, because I go help out other planets, the universe, different things like that. He was over there like forcing kids that didn't want to do nasty things to have to read nasty books. His name was the Michelin Man, and we thought we got rid of him. Anyways, but yeah, so Tyler Milligan, he calls himself Michelin, is showing signs that he is Sleazy, the alien false god. Because there's been other people that are like, this is sleazy, this is sleazy, this is sleazy. Like this one guy, he lives on our turf. His name is also Jeremiah Lewis, it seems, because they were eggs, I think, or somehow they were somehow his brothers or his sons, and somehow, because people get shrinking in this day and age, man. People get shrinking and possible die and then have to come back other babies. The crazy stuff happens these days. You wouldn't even believe it. But yeah, so this guy Jeremiah Lewis, they thought I was talking about him, and I found out it was him. It seemed like he stole Jeremiah's identity. He had his ID cards, but then later on they were saying something about like, oh, that's his brother or something, and it seemed like it was Haley Stone, which is my cousin, my dad's cousin's daughter, and there's more about that stuff. She was his match made in heaven, is what we thought. But I seen him today. But the point is, Tyler Milligan actually looked like Sleazy right now, and if you look at the energy and the manipulative factor and all that stuff, I've been hanging out with him since like last year in June or July, and he's been in my head every second. He shows the exact signs of personality that Sleazy has, the manipulativeness, all that stuff. He definitely looks like he's the one that's behind it. Tyler Milligan. He looks like, I have a picture of him on one of my Facebooks I drew of him from a memory I had of him from in middle school. I just drew it from like a memory. Him, Ryan Gordon, he calls himself, it's Gordon, it looks like Gordon. But anyways, he says Ryan Gordon, and Jeremiah Lewis, he wouldn't let me put his on there, so I did not. Travis Kirkpatrick, me and him had a laugh about crazy, but he earned a god too, like me, God of the Gods. We got certificates that were called God of the Gods. We've been in training ever since to actually just see kind of how we do and what we do and all that kind of stuff with it. So that's kind of what we've been doing. But anyways, he's on there too. So yeah, Tyler Michelin definitely looks like Sleazy, the alien false god. So I'll tell you more about him in a second. Well, basically, because I have time, because my other videos are uploading. So basically, if you don't know him, he was this guy that would punish you. Like he said he was God, and he would like punish you for having a cigarette when you weren't allowed to, or like eating a piece of food that you weren't allowed to, or a bite that you were not allowed to at that certain time. And yeah, they're like putting things in my head, or somebody saying something. But anyways, Sleazy, Tyler Michelin, he also seems to think he's the king of Britain, which isn't true, because he got fired. He got fired, and I got hired actually. An internal connection, I got hired as the king of Britain. I took his job, Jeremiah Lewis's job, and I think Ryan Gordon's job too, because they were actually, or Gordon, whatever, they were actually, abusing their power and causing harm to people. And if you're a king, you can't really do that. So, I was like, no, I called them out on it. They got fired, but they still seem to think they could abuse their power. And it seems like Tyler Michelin will go to prison or jail or something, and then he'll use, oh, I'm the king of Britain or something like that. It's crazy, but you wouldn't think that's normal, but honestly it is actually. Like there's a lot of stuff about us, man. So I'll tell you more about it, but he seems to be Sleazy, the alien false god, and he's a jerk, man. If you have like a, oh no, are you okay? Yeah, Pip's bleeding. I don't know, not bad. It's a little bad, yeah. But anyways, Pip was in here. That's Pip over there. He works in my LLC. Yeah, it does look a little bad. But yeah, so anyways, and but anyways, yeah, so he seems to be the alien false god. I got rid of him before because I told everybody to stop paying attention to him because he'll fall off, and he did.
You have a shooter?
No one listens to him anymore. No, I wish I did. I didn't. I don't have one at all. But yeah, so I told him that, he fell off because I was like, really, if you give somebody power by listening to them, they're gonna be there. If you just don't even talk to him anymore, he'll fall off. And I said the same thing about Sarah. She can't even, like, I could see it from the outside. She can't even get in and manipulate people's minds or what they think or do, or, you know, she'll make you like cough like after you drink alcohol, and you'll just like puke and stuff. She just does all this crazy stupid stuff like that all day long to people. And so basically for no reason. For no reason at all, except for she doesn't like them in that place at the right time, which your body naturally will tell you where to be. So by your feeling and figuring it out. All right, I'll see you later. But yeah, everybody's just sitting there and figuring out exactly what your body's telling you to do. And through that, your body will tell you what, you know, tell you what to do. Anyway, she doesn't like that, so she stirs up and puts people wherever they want by means of manipulation of, you know, coughing and all these kinds of things that make people like, oh my god, this must be bad, or she like messes with the way you think. Anyways, she can't even get in if people don't listen to her. She can't even get in. So that shows something right there. But yeah, so we're trying to figure out, like I said, we're trying to figure out the root and all this kind of stuff. Anyways, I was Pip, my friend. For some reason, he looks like my dad, and I found out last night, or the other night, that my dad is a very bad person. Bad person. He tried to kill my children that are in my stomach, and my kids, and stuff like that. And, things like that. So anyways, there's that. But the other part of it is he looked like him, but, I mean, that doesn't quite mean anything, because, like, right now, I just look like my cousin Amber, and she's a bitch. So, you know, I'm not her. So, you know, other people's faces could be on other people's faces. But the other part is, one time I looked in Pip's life and I thought, you know, I asked him, you know, he had a bunch of money, like a bunch of money, I could tell, somewhere. I don't know, I don't think he had it on him. But then I was like, why would he have a bunch of money? So I called him out, and then he's like, very good. And he gave me a cigarette, like a reward. So you'd think that's kind of weird, like, oh, you call someone out and they're like, very good. So it either shows some kind of medical problem or something, or he's trying to say, very good, I'm here for a reason, I'm on your side, is what I would think as a psychoanalysis. Because if you really think about it, somebody who has a lot of money that's acting to be homeless, but, you know, has a vibe of like kind of a friend in a way, it seems like, you know, I don't know, I have to think about it. The psychoanalysis would see it like this. So, there's a friend, I'm trying to make it fast because we're at 7 minutes, but there's a friend, he seems like there's something about him, you analyze him, he has a lot of money, somewhere in Iran or something like that, but he doesn't quite have it on him. He still hangs around, he doesn't seem mean or anything like that. He's totally in love, that's a really big sign. And his girl is really cool. Very professional, working her way towards a really nice career. And I thought of it earlier. So what we would think is, you know, if he's a friend, he's rewarding you for seeing he has money and calling him out on it. So if I'm in danger, that would run him out. That would run him out. Because he sees that, and he sees, you know, the money is coming from elsewhere. This could potentially be harmful or something like that, which shows that people are getting paid, which I already knew that, but it shows kind of proof. But if he's your friend and he's there for a reason, either he's desperate himself and he's stuck, means he doesn't know how he showed up here, or somebody sent him here and he didn't mean to, which that has shown from people around here. And number one, and somebody's saying, to say who it was, Randall. Randall is a guy that hangs out over there. He was my friend. Well, he probably is. I just haven't seen him in a long time. Anyways, Nico and Randall were trying to say, there's nobility up here. So, like, Nico is nobility. I could spot it right on him when I saw him. He's nobility. And so is Randall's very important. I don't know if he's nobility. He probably might be. He's very, very, very important. He says English, something with English. And Kenneth is, you know, Iran, somehow connected to Iran nobility, or I don't know if it's nobility, but he knows, like, he's like, he earned Iranian prince or something like that. Or something like that. And then I suspect that I'm Egyptian nobility. I really do, because I think that they took over Egypt back in the day. Like I said, this has been since biblical times. I think Egypt and biblical and Greek times were all at the same time period, as well as the cowboys. I think so. But somehow Egypt fell because I think they took it over. I don't know. They took it over somehow, and I like maybe didn't even know they were coming or didn't even know they were there. Somehow I think I slipped out and was, or like either that or they made me homeless. Like they claimed they were my family or something, and then they made me homeless, and I wound up somewhere else. And I think that that's what happened with Egypt. But you know, they use medical information, which they've been doing to me all night, that makes you feel like you're molested and things like that. But they use it to torture you over and over and over and over. They don't stop. So ask our God to see, you know, try to protect my babies and stuff. It's disgusting. They do this all the time. This is all they do to me. They just pure torture. And I can't help it, because I try and try and try and try and try. I've like tried to like hurt, like I've tried to hurt them. I've tried to do all kinds of things to stop them. But they're just like, they claim, oh, they're in love with me, and they laugh and everything about everything I say. They have jokes to say. Then you find out they're talking shit under the table. They're manipulating all the other guys that like me so they can't come by me, and like all this kind of stuff. They won't see me in person. It's been 2 years and they won't even like show their face in person, and you know they live down the street. It's like, that just shows right there. That's a really deep form of manipulation to, you know, they planned something to make sure that I was not going to be seen. I don't have, you know, I don't have any friends, barely. Like, nobody really comes and talks to me. I mean, here they do sometimes, but, you know, I'm building that back up again, and not because I did anything wrong. They just turned everybody against me and forced people to think this or that. And then they told Andrew right now, like, do you swear you don't want to do this anymore? And he's like, I'm an atheist. I overheard it, but I don't know what the heck they were doing. But they're over here like doing some serious stuff, trying to convince people to do all this weird stuff against me. And I don't know what the heck it is, but it's just, it's creepy, it's weird. And so there's nobility. So why are they up here running kings and all that kind of stuff and making me homeless? And then I had a feeling like clairvoyant, and you look at it, because I could tell people's race. Right when I look at them, I could tell right that where they're from. I could tell where they're from. It just shows on their face to me, their skin, something about it. I can see it every time. So, it seems like a lot of the homeless people, like in Los Angeles and stuff like that, they're Egyptian. Because we're smart. They don't like us because we're Egyptian. A lot of it. So, I'm going to get to the next video. I'm going to post this one. I'll see you guys in a little bit.